Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Happy 2025. Today's exciting episode, we're taking a look at my olive and khaki jackets. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. So I have been working on the Paris jacket, and so I finally got out all the olive and khaki jackets. There are a lot of them. So look at the sleeves of the Paris jacket. This one is done. This one is only half done. It's looking very mangy and very half done. So maybe like a third rather than a half. Anyway, and as I was getting out the beads, some more beads for this episode, I had some sort of darker green flower ones, but the leaf ones as well. So I'm not going to add them to the Paris jacket, as tempting as that is. But yes, I'm definitely going to use them on something else. Anyway, so olive and khaki are the colours for today. So this is our first one. This is a lint and tweed, and the Italian silk that I used for the lining is hilarious. It's leopard print or big cat print. And yeah, as I said, lint and tweeds for this tweed. It's many years old. I think I bought it in 2020. Was the last time I bought. So it might have been 2019 or 2020 that I bought this, because it was one of the last tweeds that I bought, and it's pretty fabulous. It's sort of khaki and black, and it's just a really beautiful colour. But because it's so dark and it's got so much black in there, then it's like all my khaki beads don't really go with it, because they're sort of more... they've got more colour in them, so I'm thinking black for that one. I was going to do a Heart of Midlothian on the back of it, and this is another one where I was going to do Heart of Midlothian on the back. When I get to the back of this jacket, I'll show you what I mean. And yeah, this is those dragon scale sequins. So instead of the hole in the sequins being in the middle, like a regular sequence, a French sequence, they are at the top. And so if you run your hand up and down, then the sequins move. One side's sort of more gold, antique gold, and the other side is more black. So, and this is what I mean by the Heart of Midlothian. In the very centre of the city of Edinburgh in the UK, in Scotland, there's in the ground in front of St Giles, the main church, there's this heart in the ground, and according to Wikipedia, you just spit in there and you make a wish and you just get any wish. But the actual folklore is that you think of the person that you want to marry, and then you spit into it, and then you go back home, and yeah, if your heart is true, then you marry the person. I think it's much sweeter, but I guess they didn't want stalkers reading that on the internet, then destroying public property. So Wikipedia is a little bit different. Anyway, so the next one is, I haven't done the beading on that one yet, but that's what I kind of want to do, because I used to live in Edinburgh and I kind of really miss it sometimes. So this is another lint and tweed, and if you know my sort of apricot one with the mauve beaded trim, as well as the oceanic one with the gold trim, then they've got pom-poms in them. This one has pom-poms in it, but they're sort of khaki, olive coloured. It's the coolest. It's one of the first tweeds I ever bought, and it's just so unique. And then I made beaded trim for it, and as I said, it's one of the first ones I did, so it's very... You can see I didn't quite measure it correctly. There's a little gap in between. So yes, you can tell that some people don't believe me that they're handmade sometimes, but I've got a whole channel, definitely handmade. But yeah, so, and I think because, it was one of the first ones, the faux pocket tops are a little bit too close to the side, too close to the hips. I brought them forward in subsequent jackets. And then this is a more recent one. I made this in November, so 6 weeks ago, not even. And yeah, it's a quilting cotton, And originally I was going to use sort of sage lighter green glass beads on the green bits, and then sort of transparent purple and mauve ones, amethyst looking beads on the purple flowers. But now I think I want to use up purple beads. So yeah, but actually I decided this necklace is gem cut grey glass, and it sort of looks blue in this footage. It actually looks kind of blue in all the footage, but in real life it doesn't have that as much. So I'm thinking maybe glass transparent beads in grey might be really nice. Okay, the next one this is an Oscar de la Renta. If you saw my collections video where I showed the yellow and purple jackets, one of the, well, not really purple, but deep red, scarlety, purplish sort of coloured jackets was a different colourway of this one. They're both Oscar de la Renta, and they've got tiny bits of, again, I'm thinking, it doesn't really translate, but they're very grey, these beads that I've got around as a necklace, but they just look super blue now. So yeah, no, that's turning me off. They look good in real life, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the next one this is a brocade, and what that means is that the pattern, so the flowers, aren't printed on, they're woven into the fabric, which is absolutely gorgeous, and they've got that beautiful satin finish. So when I bought this, I was like, oh, maybe sage green flowers, because the flowers, they sort of look almost whitish gold in real life, but then sometimes they look sage green. It's a beautiful, beautiful fabric. But then I was like, no, I've got black flower sequins, I'll use them. And then, I don't know, I just can't decide. So maybe clear, transparent glass beads. Maybe, because I love the actual fabric so much, but I put 2 layers of netting as the structural layer, so it definitely needs beading. I'm just not sure which. And this one is Berta 6123 is the pattern. So it's dolman sleeves. What that means is if you find it really difficult to put sleeves on or set sleeves is what it's called. This is me showing you the goldish khaki beads. So yeah, this is a good jacket pattern if setting sleeves is really difficult for you. See, I'm holding a sleeve out here so you can see it's just the left piece is one whole piece, the right piece is one whole piece, and then the back piece is just this one massive piece as well. And if you look at the tweeds stacked up on the side of the screen there, you can see that there's some of this fabric as well. With Linton tweeds, I'm not sponsored, they just have really nice tweeds. This one, they had 3 meters of it, so I've made one and I've got enough to make 2 others. Every few years I buy a tweed, 3 meters of a tweed. 3 meters is like almost 3.5 yards, and it's the classic amount to buy if you want to make a Chanel suit or Chanel style suit. So, speaking of, this is a Chanel tweed. So this is actually made in France. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I don't know where you can get the places where I used to get Chanel tweeds. None of them are open anymore. So there's a couple of places in New York City. If you actually go into the city, then you could probably get them there. But yeah, it's a shame. I mean, I've got enough. I know. I should just finish the ones I have before I go searching for more. But yeah. And anyway, I bought 2 meters of this particular Chanel tweed and made 2 jackets because they're very cropped, they're collarless, and they're a small size. I've made so many jackets, I figured out how to get a whole one out of 1 meter. And this is me just showing you all the colours. So one is going to be in the dark green collection, and this one here is in the khaki collection, because the colours in this tweed there's shots of gold, but then there's khaki, there's green, and there's blue. I think I'll be the dark green one first, and then the other one will either be khaki beads or maybe blue, maybe. But I'm thinking khaki more. This is a Marc Jacobs tweed, bought from New York City. It's more of a coating fabric, so it's quite bulky. And because, as I said, my jackets are a smaller size jacket and they're very cropped and they've got no collar, so they just they can look quite bulky sometimes if I use a heavier tweed rather than a light one. So I thought, oh, well, whatever, I'll make it up and then I'll use heavy beads on it and it'll counterweight it. But yeah, so this one is a little bit heavy, but it's absolutely adorable in real life. I'm not sure it translates because the colors in the tweed, it's hot pink, this mauvey grey color, bright yellow, and olive. So it's a weird mix. It's supposed to be a 1960s one. It was from one of their 1960s collections. This jacket here is the Paris jacket and also the Daisy jacket. They're the same pattern, simplicity pattern, that I used for this other. This is like the one that I made before it, and then I made a few changes. I changed the neckline a bit. I changed this one I felt was a little bit too long, so I cropped it up a little bit, and also the back stuck out too much. Because I'd cropped the back up so much, you don't need as much ease in the back. So I sort of pinned it and then redrafted the back pattern piece. And then that's the one I'm using like for the Paris jacket and and that purple and sagey coloured one as well as that satin one with the beautiful spider chrysanthemum sort of flowers on it. This one is just cotton. It's not going to have any beading on it. It's double-sided, so there's a grey vintage print on the other side. I do have some more of this fabric, so I could make another jacket out of it, the other half of the fabric. So we will see. And next up, we have another one of those simplicity patterns. So this one is adorable. I had wanted this, you know how you can do those wish lists? Well, I'd had this quilting cotton on my wish list for ages, but for some reason, it was really expensive and it never went on sale. And then it finally went on sale, but they put loads of things on sale at once. So I had to pick, because I only have so much disposable income. And so I was like, because I originally wanted 3 meters to make this dress, vintage Vogue dress from 1939, or I could just get 1 yard and make this jacket. So I ended up getting 1 yard of this, and then that meant I could get 2 yards of 2 other things. And yeah, so I didn't get to make my dress, but I did make a jacket out of it. And then I originally beaded it with navy blue bugle beads, because there's also navy blue leaves on the print, but it didn't look good. It just sort of made the whole thing look blotchy and more black and white and yellowed with age. I don't know, it just did not work. So I carefully took them off, and then I put these giant bugle beads on, and in green, and I love it. I particularly love the feature on the back. It looks very Art Deco to me. But I haven't finished the front center seams or the neckline, so I have to do that, then finish the beading, and then put in the lining. This one, I'm pretty sure this one has its lining. I know it doesn't look particularly khaki or olive, but after this, I'm going to show you get out all the tweeds and show them to you. And there is a olive and khaki one that looks pretty much exactly like this tweed. And so in my mind, they sort of are both olive and khaki. I will probably put those grassy olive khaki beads on this one that I showed you. Those the sort of lightest of the olive and khaki beads. I'll probably put them on it. So here are all the olive and khaki, well, some of the olive and khaki tweeds. Incredibly, there's even more. This one is a mix. It's like cashmere wool blend, This one is boiled wool, which is so ugly, but yeah, I'm going to have fun making it up. This is the hilarious tweed. It's got so it's sequins, obviously, but if you laid it flat and turned all the sequin, like went along and turned all the sequin down, then you'd see like a check pattern on there. And yeah, so it's tweed, but it's sequin, and it's just so fabulous. I had to get it. And plus it was on sale because for some surprising reason, no one else wanted it. Then we have the 2 remaining meters of that Linton tweed. And then, so here is the jacket that I showed you, is the one on the left, and the other one, this is a Linton tweed, and it's got this white flagged bit in there, and the yellow bits are actually yellow, whereas in the jacket that I've made up, they're electric green and electric blue and grey, whereas the other one is more sort of true khaki, so yeah, or olive. And there's enough differences for me to think they were interesting, and they would be beaded differently. But yeah, I like them both. This one it's just so classic. It's a real olive khaki colour mostly, and then it's got this silvery grey and cream in there as well, and there's tiny little squares. So I was thinking maybe a transparent glass bead in each. And then we have the flamingo and olive one, and I just love this. It is so cute. I have copper keys that would look really beautiful on this, or maybe olive or flamingo pink. And this one doesn't really go, but because of the design elements that are going to be on that tweed, once I make it into a jacket, and all of the olive and khaki ones, I sort of, in my mind, they're all the same genre. So yeah, there's loads of, I really want to make up a lot of these this year because they're just so beautiful. And I think all the olive khaki ones, I don't want to mess them up. I haven't beaded a lot of them, and I haven't cut into a lot of them. So I think this year will be the year that changes, because they're just amazing. And that sequin is just hilarious. There's so many sequins in the actual fabric. It is amazing. So, and this is me noticing the grey beads. Oh, they look a little bit mauve, don't they? But they're grey, and these are cut glass ones. So yeah, I might grey beads look pretty good on that. Anyway, and this is me getting out that necklace. It looks so blue in all footage and photos, so that's turning me off it. But actually that tweed has blue shots in it, so maybe it would work with them. I don't know. We shall see. I've used some of those cut glass beads on the grey floral jacket, the felt one. I also have felt in khaki, olive colour. So, and I've got flowers in olive khaki, so we'll see how that one goes. Now, I know I already showed this one in the gold collection of my jackets, but to me, like, look at this tweed. It's strips of silk and they're woven into a tweed. And it's just the most delicate tweed. It was the most delicate tweed to work with. As soon as you cut into it, it sort of started falling apart, like literally. There's nothing really holding all the strips of silk of fabric together, and they're so that are as wide as a ribbon. So if you just wove a couple of ribbons together, then cut into it, of course they'd basically unravel. So I had to stitch it to a backing fabric. And yeah, and you have to do it by hand, obviously. And I mean, it was beautiful to work on such a gorgeous fabric, but it did take a lot of time. And then I got to bead it because, in my opinion, because I wear my jackets as everyday wear, and I don't wear expensive things only 1 or 2 times, then donate them to a museum. I actually wear them. I felt like I had to do beading on the outside as much to protect the tweed as to like show off the tweed. So yeah, and to me it's olive khaki just because that's the I don't know, I really like all my olive khaki ones, and it definitely fits into that collection in my mind. And this one, had this out recently. It used to be called the cactus jacket, and it's sort of got little spikes the whole way around it, except I haven't finished doing the beading yet, because yeah, you kind of have to be in the mood to do this beading, because you have to sit there and you have to be very precise and very patient. And yeah, there's a limit to my patience. So here is what the actual tweed looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. And you can see I'm getting there slowly. But the beading, because the beads are so tiny, there's not quite enough weight. So I'm going to add some more beads to the cuffs and the bottom. In the same way, I'm adding those hanging beads to the Paris jacket at the moment. And this one is the alpha jacket. And I showed this one in the gold collection, because and then I just put a sash on it, because the sash has all similar colors in it, and yeah, it doesn't look good. I take the sash off again. Anyway, so this jacket, the faux leather that it's made out of is called antique gold, but it sort of looks, I bought it because it looks olive khaki camouflage color, and it's just so amazing. And the beading on the back just turned out, I was really worried about the design, because there's so many different elements, and normally I just sort of just do random beads everywhere and hope that it turns out. And this one had lots of design elements, and I had to put them all in the right place, and each sleeve had to match, and the two fronts had to match, and it was little bit stressful. And oh yeah, this is me just saying that those khaki beads in the background would look really beautiful on that, because there's not quite enough weight on the back of the bottom. I don't think I need to put any beads on there, but I just want to bead everything. So I was like, oh, if I wanted to, I could put them on. This one here is absolutely gorgeous. I have had this jacket for so long and worn it. It's one of the most popular, like one of my favorites anyway. But the beaded trim annoys me, because some of the those sort of pinky purple beads, they're too big and splodgy. So I kind of want to take the beaded trim off. I know some of you think that I shouldn't mess with any of my jackets, but these are they're just clothes that I've made for myself. And I have worn this one so much, and every time I wear it, this big one here, these big ones annoy me. They just annoy me. So, I mean, I love this jacket, and but those big splodges on the front, they just annoy me that little bit too much. So yes, I think I want to carefully take them off. And I don't know, sometimes I'm like, I should embellish it, which means beading the whole thing all over. But then I really like the beaded trim. Maybe I'll just remake the beaded trim. I've got loads of other beads in these colors, because as I said, this jacket is so old. In the past, it's got to be at least 12 years old, at least. And in the last decade, I have bought quite a few beads. So yes, I've definitely got some amazing things that I could replace it with. But also, if I just took off that beaded trim, redid it with the exact beads that are in there, it would still be better, because my technique is so much better. Anyway, lucky last jacket. This is my Edinburgh tweed. And it is just, this one has my heart. I love it. It's a Chanel tweed, the actual tweed that's on it. And this tweed and the navy blue Chanel tweed with the bugle beads on it, I bought those two tweeds at the same time. Oh, here I'm showing you the kiwi fruit beads. They're glass beads, they're handmade. And you know how they make the old-fashioned candy? They sort of build all the design up, and then they roll it, and then they cut it into little things. Well, they do the same thing with beads. And you can buy them in sets of like 9 or 10, depending on how complicated they were to make, or sometimes you can only buy 5 in the set. Anyway, you buy these tiny little sets of handmade beads, and I used all the kiwi fruit ones in this. And yeah, I love them. I love them so much. It was so much fun, like getting out my bead collection, cherry picking all the best beads. And I'm about to show you these amber plastic ones. So I had to add some plastic ones in to make the whole thing way less. And these amber ones, I wasn't sure about it because they're brownish amber. So I was sort of going for brown and, because Edinburgh is there's moss on sandstone and bluestone, so I was sort of going for those colors. And yeah, I'm so glad I put the amberish ones in there. They are so perfect because the doors are heavy wooden carved ones, and yeah, it's so perfect. I love it. Anyway, that is it for this episode. This is the very last jacket. I saved the best for last. Oh, and there's some that are polished stone. They're amazing. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've had a pleasant start to your new year. It was so much fun getting out all my beads and making this bead mix. I remember I just made such a mess, but yeah, it was so much fun. I'm trying to decide what my make 9 for 2025 will be. And I think I definitely need to KonMari my beads, because they are it's kind of fun just getting out a box and going, oh, what did I end up putting in this box? And sort of just rediscovering everything. But it's also incredibly frustrating when you're trying to find an actual type of bead that you bought at some point in the past decade and you just can't remember which box you put them back in. So yes. Anyway, thanks again for watching and happy sewing.